Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Gas South District's That's the Ticket, the ultimate podcast exploring all things Gas South District and a source for insights to events on campus and discussions on the wider entertainment and tourism industry. Please welcome the host of our show, Stan Hall, CEO of Gas South District and Explore Gwinnett.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this episode of That's the Ticket podcast. As you know, we always try to do things that are in good taste, and today we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about things that also taste good. So we've got a double whammy for you today. We're going to learn a little more about the Proof of the Pudding, a catering and food service management company at Gas South District and beyond. So joining us today on our show is Proof of the Pudding CEO Adam Noyes. Adam, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here with us today.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks so much for having me, Stan and Mike. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm honored to talk with you today.
Absolutely. So, Adam, Proof of the Pudding is as much a part of Gas South District as anything we do. We have a long history with you guys. So, if you don't mind, share with our listeners today, tell us a little bit about the history, the proud history of Proof of the Pudding.
Yeah, you know, we're 44 years young as an organization,
Absolutely.
and our partnership here dates back to the early 90s here up in Gwinnett, and we're extremely proud and grateful for that partnership. But we ultimately started as a small mom-and-pop catering operation off of 10th and Piedmont 44 years ago in Atlanta, and we really were, at the time, a pastry and brownie and, really a store, a retail outlet at the time. And as the city of Atlanta began to grow, we got more and more inquiries about, hey, can you cater our home party? Can you cater our wedding, our corporate event? And that's kind of how Proof got into the catering business, was just by request. And, really through the years, more and more of those catering types of events, as the city grew from, 1 million people at a time to now over 6 today. We started doing exclusive venues as well, and our first exclusive venue was the Carter Presidential Library in the early '80s, and then started doing convention centers. And right here at Gas South District was one of our first, which is really pretty exciting. We do some other convention centers around the South, and we got into, you name it. We do PGA golf tournaments, we do boat shows, we do football stadiums. It's really not a part of food and beverage that we don't touch today. And we've got a team of about 1,700 folks and operate in 16 states today.
Well, that's great. And like I say, you've been here with us for a long time. When do you think your relationship with what is now Gas South District began?
I think it was. I was asking a few folks yesterday. I think it was in '92 was the first year that we started partnering.
And we opened in '90, right?
Yeah, I think you opened in '90. I think '92 was. So we were early to the table, and grateful again for the partnerships that we've had through the years, and certainly what an amazing transformation through the years this facility and this whole district has had. I mean, the recent renovations here, everywhere from the Hudgens Center to the Convention Center to the expansion of the Convention Center to the arena, parking. It's really been a game changer, especially with the hotel coming online.
Oh, yeah.
It's truly changed the whole operation here for us from a food and beverage perspective, but the clientele's changed in a great way.
Oh, yeah. I think that you and I have had this discussion before, but, I think anytime that I speak to somebody who's in the hospitality industry, no matter what that involvement might be, we always come back to COVID and what that did to our business. How did COVID affect Proof of the Pudding and all of the stuff you've got going on with catering? What was the impact that had through you?
Oh, it was I almost have a little PTSD from it, quite honestly.
We all do.
When I go back to March of 2020, it was a booming time. We had a great forecast at all our different business operations, great outlook on the year, and it all came to just an abrupt halt, as all of our industry did.
Immediately, almost.
We were doing the Players Championship down in Ponte Vedra, and we had 18 tractor trailer loads full of food, and we got called into a meeting, and we were told we're gonna go without fans, and then a day later we were told we're gonna go without players.
Yeah.
And that night I saw the NBA cancel their season, and I'll never forget the next 24 hours of literally speaking with all of our partners. Every single one of our clients calling, what is the plan? And most of it was, our centers were shutting down, our tourism attractions were shutting down. It was a very, very eye-opening and tough time for our industry, not just for food service, but for the venues, for our customers, for everybody that we're going through unprecedented times. But I'm really proud of our COVID story, and I didn't know it at the time. I was a leader that probably had sometimes pretended to know that I had it all under control when I didn't necessarily know that I did.
That's all of us, Adam.
Yeah, we all had to do that. But we were very blessed. We looked at all kinds of different opportunities that we never really had thought of before. Even here in Gwinnett, we partnered with Cisco, and we did a thing called Pop-Up Shop Up, where we literally, this was the times where people couldn't get paper towels and meat and soap in the grocery store. So we literally would bring our Cisco truck to a convention center like here at the Gas South District and open it up to our clientele, and we'd have people coming through, and we'd put food in their trunks, and just to keep people working. These were not huge revenue streams, but they're ways to keep our folks working and try to generate some revenue in a time where there really was little. But our turning point, we did a bunch of meals for the Atlanta Community Food Bank and all the communities around town. But the big game-changing moment for us in COVID was we got a call to go, when Grady was overflowing to the Georgia World Congress Center. We got a call to go do the food service at the Georgia World Congress Center. And a company called PAE was a government contractor, and it was 24/7 feeding the doctors, nurses, and patients 4 meals a day. And it was consistent. And we were there for a month or so, and we got another phone call from that same government contractor that said, hey, can you guys be in Chinle, Arizona in 24 hours? And I'll never forget looking at Ben, my business partner. We're both like, where's Chinle, Arizona? I have no idea where Chinle, Arizona is. And we look at the map, and there's a giant Navajo nation that was carved out of New Mexico area. And we went out there, and they said, can you guys stand up 7 COVID hospitals in partnership with this government contractor in the next 2 weeks? And they would take over a limited service, 300-room hotel. They'd turn it into a hospital. We'd bolt on a kitchen onto the back of it, and we'd do the food service. And we were ultimately running those 7, 8, 9 at some time hospitals for about 9 months. And it changed our ability to navigate COVID in a good way. We were able to give back and help the cause at the time, but most importantly, we're able to keep our employees working.
Absolutely.
It wasn't the work that everybody set out to do at the beginning of the year, but it was the work that we found. And I don't take any credit for that. I give all the credit for our team members that were kind of running into the fire. This was before a vaccine or anything like that, and they went and did the work, and I'm proud for them for that time frame for sure.
Yeah, I remember, to your point, when you started your explanation about COVID, you were just coming off of a great year, and I've told this story to so many people, but in March of 2020, I had a full staff meeting, and I brought everybody together, and I said, guys, 2020 is going to be the best net year we've ever had in our history. That's a pretty bold statement, to make it any time. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I brought that same staff back together, and I said, I don't think we're going to be able to keep our doors open. It went from A to that just at the snap of a finger. So I totally can relate to where not only you and me, but anybody in this industry, large assembly business, food business, hospitality affiliated, whatever it was a very, very trying time for our industry for sure.
It really was. It really was. In hindsight, I think it made us all stronger. We learned so much from it, but going through it was very trying.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Adam, I want to mention something that, and I don't want to talk about this just because you're here, but I do want to take advantage of the fact that you're here to talk about it. When you think about partnerships, And as you said, our partnership is a long partnership dating back to really our beginning as a business organization. And that's very rare, number one, to have a partnership that lasts that long. But the reason that it has lasted as that long is I do think we share such a unique comparison when it comes to our culture and what we think is important. And, the listeners today, they don't know this, but I do. You've always been a person, not only as an individual, but as a business owner, as a CEO, who really understood the importance of giving back to the community. And you've shared a little bit in your COVID story, but your story is a little bit deeper than that. Talk about how you feel about the importance of, as a business owner, the really giving back, which is something at Gas South District we absolutely adhere to. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Stan. It's at the core of everything we do in hospitality. I think
Absolutely.
Not just with our company, but here at Gas South, you guys are great partners in that. Our history goes back a long time to the beginning of the Atlanta Community Food Bank. At the time it was called Atlanta's Table, and there was a challenge, obviously, in the homeless community and fighting hunger in the city, where we had a lot of these large assembly. It could be convention centers, could be venues, whatever they might. They'd have whatever they might be. They have a lot of food left over at the end of the event, and how can we repurpose that? And there were some laws that needed to be changed back then to make sure that food service company couldn't get sued. It became the Good Samaritan law.
Right.
And that legislation really was championed by Bill Bowling, who was the founder of the food bank. And so Proof has been a part of that from day one. My father was a part of it, one of the founding members, and then I've been on the governing board of the food bank since I can remember. And it's something that is very, very important to us. In addition to that, we give back in a myriad of ways. Being in the gathering business, we have great opportunity for all the fundraising galas that come through our spaces to give back, and it can be through in-kind donations that go to to benefit silent auctions and those types of things. I know we've done a lot here through the golf tournament for CHOA and some of the great Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and some of the great charities and non-for-profit organizations. The other way that we give back is through our staffing model. We believe in the NFP, or the non-for-profit staffing model, as it relates to concession operations. And so we'll partner. I think we've got maybe 40 different non-for-profits in the local community here that will come and actually work at our events. It could be a mother or father that are representing their child's high school band or soccer team or any non-for-profit, and they're going to come and they're going to work an event. And the quality of employee that you're getting you might have an accountant and a school teacher in your concession stand, and they're raising money to give back to whatever charity they're there to operate for, and that equates to millions of dollars over the time that you think back to the 90s and using the NFP model till now. Now it's been millions of dollars that we've been able to pump into the community just through that strategy alone.
Well, I'll tell you, and I'm sure that you hear it on your own, but that reputation that you have, that Proof has, as far as giving back to the community, it's well known and well appreciated, and I do applaud you guys for. Sometimes we get so focused on what we have to do every day that we sort of let our blinders get on, but you've been very good at opening those blinders up and seeing those people in need and helping them. So kudos to you and your company for that, for sure. So
thanks for saying that. It's important. I always say we're in the people business. You got to have great food, and you got to have great service, and you got to welcome people to your venue with open arms, but none of that happens without great human beings.
So I'll also make another admission to you that I take full credit for so many things that I have nothing to do with, and that's fairly common for me. One of those, for instances, might be, we're very much, as you are, interested in what people think about the service that they were offered when they come to any of the facilities on our campus is really important to us, obviously. We always get high marks on our food and beverage here. And an example of a comment might be, congratulations on your department who is responsible for food and beverage. And I will tell you, I haven't always said, well, that was proof of the pudding. I just always say, well, thank you for that.
One team, one dream, right? We're all part of the same team.
One team, one dream is correct. But and again, the things that we're sharing with our listeners today, you and I've had in private discussions, but proof of the pudding is a absolute asset to the services that we provide to our clients that very often takes us over the top of that decision-making process that somebody may go through. If they want to come here, they love our facilities, they love the amenities, but food and beverage is such an important part of it. If we didn't have that quality of food and beverage that we could provide for them, we would lose some of those events. So again, that relationship we have is so important. So I thank you again for that. And just to let you know, I do take some of your credit, and I apologize in advance for that. Also, on that same note, some people think that proof of the pudding really only works at Gas South District, and you've already elaborated on some of the many other things that you do. But one of the things that we're proud of at Gas South District is a lot of that preparation, food preparation, that is being served in other particular venues is still being created right here in the kitchens at Gas South District. Talk a little bit about how that whole thing works as far as the food preparation, the distribution. That's a big ordeal, but it all starts right here at Gas South District.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for starters, part of the renovations that have been done here that really truly set this convention center apart, not just regionally and here in the state of Georgia, but nationally. This is now one of the most beautiful convention centers, arguably the most beautiful convention center.
Well, you convinced me, but go ahead. So.
In the country, and if you haven't been here to see it firsthand, you need to come. But some of what you don't see when you come here is the kitchen facilities. Part of that renovation was a total redo of the kitchen facilities that we have here at Gas South, and included all new kitchen equipment, everything from flooring, walls, walk-in coolers. We were able to build a brand new pastry kitchen that we're really proud of, where we make all of our pastries from scratch. And also we've got an amazing food hall here at Gas South that, if you haven't experienced, needs to be on the bucket list to experience. So to further answer the question, though, about how do we use this facility to cater in the broader community? We use it in a lot of different ways, and it is a direct benefit back in terms of our partnership from a revenue stream right here to the center. But University of Georgia is a great example. We do the premium seating at University of Georgia and have been proud to serve there for over a decade. And a lot of that food gets prepped here. It gets fired up at UGA, so of course it's hot and the quality's there, but a lot of it is prepped here at our Gas South kitchen, and we're a short drive up there. We take it up, put it in the walk-ins, and then we facilitate everything on game day. But those fresh pastries that you see and the great handmade desserts that you see all the way in Athens on game day are actually made right here at Gas South. Just this morning, I was talking with our team. We're doing a wedding at Yonah Mountain Vineyards that's coming out of here today. If you haven't been to Yonah Mountain, you should definitely check it out.
See it.
Great vineyard venue, but we're doing a wedding there tonight that will come out of this facility. The Beaufort Community Center, we do a lot to partner there, and all the food service that we do there comes out of this facility. The Mitsubishi Electric Classic Championship is again, all that food is prepped here. We fire it on course over at TPC Sugarloaf, but all that food service and the team that manages all that food service all comes right out of Gas South. So the team's responsible for a lot.
I want to talk to you. You mentioned in your early comments today a little bit about golf. I think most people who might hear this know that the Mitsubishi Electric Classic is a part of our inventory that we have here through our Convention Visitors Bureau. It's a big part of everything we do. One of the things that was beneficial for us when we got that contract with the PGA Tour, now probably 11 years ago or whatever when we started, was the F&B that we were able to provide to the PGA Tour in those conversations that convinced them that we could do it. We could put on a large-scale golf event. So once you started that was sort of new to you in the golf business. But you mentioned it earlier. But talk a little bit about how that introduction to the PGA Tour folks through the Mitsubishi Electric Classic has really sort of projected you throughout the country for other professional golf tournaments.
Yeah, in two ways, Gas South is responsible for a lot of our, really the whole way we got into golf. And I'll backdate it a little bit even further to the Bell South Classic.
Bell South Classic,
It started for years when we did the Bell South Classic at two different locations, right? At TPC Sugarloaf and at one point it was at ACC.
It
right?
was.
And so that was our first intro into golf. And then, of course, when AT&T and Bell South kind of stopped doing that tournament went away, and there was a little bit of a void for a while until the Mitsubishi came back, and that was our first time back into the golf business, and our team really enjoyed that side of the business, and we had an ability to start a relationship with the PGA Tour, and we actually brought. I remember bringing one of the main contacts here to a concert. And Stan, you were nice enough to talk with him that night, and I can't remember what concert it was. It was a good one though.
They're all good. They're all good.
And we had that introduction. They got a feel for not only the business that we could do on the golf side, but other business that we're doing in arenas and so forth. So they trusted us with their first tournament, and that was the PGA Tour's Championship Management Group, which let us try the Dell Match Play in Austin, and we did a great job with that. And coincidentally, a year later, we had all of their contracts. So we're operating the Tour Championship here in our backyard in Atlanta now for the tour, and the FedEx St. Jude, talking about great charities in Memphis, and the President's Cup now, which will be in Montreal in 2024, just to name a few. And then as a result of that, we've had other golf tournaments independent, like the Amex in Palm Springs and the Byron Nelson, that have reached out to us that we've been able to partner with. But it all started right here.
Absolutely, and I think you sort of glossed over some of the things that you guys do out and about throughout the country. You said we do some football stadiums, but you mentioned the University of Georgia. But what are the other campuses you do as far as food and beverage?
Yeah, we started with the University of Georgia. Was our first.
That was a good place to start.
Great place to start. Go Dogs. After that, I think our second school was a smaller school in Anniston, Alabama, JSU. Was another contract, and then we started working with Auburn University. We do Georgia Tech. We do Duke University. We do Wake Forest University, and then we do Mississippi State, and we do Alabama.
Yeah.
So eight schools total. Fall for us is a busy time, and I spend a lot of my Saturdays bouncing around different football stadiums, making sure we're doing a great job.
Well, that's not a bad way to spend a Saturday, though. If you got to work, why not be at a college football
exactly
game?
And all those schools are great places to be.
They're all great places, and but I do think it's important for our listeners to understand really the magnitude of proof of the pudding goes so far beyond the relationship we have here at Gas South District, which we truly love. But you guys have just really taken off like a rocket in the food and beverage business throughout the country in so many different venues, literally and figuratively, but so many different things you guys are doing. So again, congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you about one other cool thing you guys do, because it's something I'm excited about that's coming up. But you guys have got into the boat show business a little bit. Talk about the one you've got coming up.
Yeah, so we've got I think we're going on a 7-year partnership with Informa. Informa is one of the largest trade show companies in the world, and they own a boat show portfolio in Florida that does the largest boat show trade shows on water in the world. The second, outside the United States, the biggest one you've probably heard of is in Monaco.
Yeah.
So we'll need to do a field trip.
Yeah,
and
we'll do
check
that
one
next time.
out.
Next time.
But the biggest one domestically takes place in Fort Lauderdale, and it's a trade show on the water. So they bring in everything from your 350-foot mega yachts with helicopter pads and crews of 30, 40 people that sail these ships, to your smaller fishing boats. And they build a grid of dock system that they bring in. It takes months to build this, and the ships come in, and it's all timed, and they build a trade show on the water. It's really spectacular to see. And so we're responsible for all the food service, whether it's on the boats, it's for the folks that are selling the boats. We run a couple of different clubs, the biggest one being the Windward Club Lounge, which is a VIP experience for people attending, to concession sales, to the biggest thing we sell, though, is beverage.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of beverages consumed. A lot of we have a partnership with Gosling Rum, so a lot of rum on the water is consumed, and it's a great. There's really two different demographics that are there. There's the people that are walking around just to see all the boats and experience the atmosphere in Florida on the water, and then there's the buyer. And the buyers are only about 1% of the group,
Yeah.
But two very, very important groups that we cater to down there.
Well, that's an exciting thing to be a part of, and in that kind of environment, why wouldn't there be a lot of beverages there, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just ships. The cool thing that I love walking around and seeing down there is you'll see they'll have tons of exotic cars. You can buy everything from a helicopter to a submarine to put on your boat, and so it's just more toys than you can ever imagine looking at.
Yeah. Well, Adam, I just really, since we started doing this podcast, I knew I wanted to have you representing Proof of the Pudding be a part of a conversation that we had. It's absolutely a relationship that we have enjoyed, one that we cherish, that's so important in the overall business model of everything we do on this campus. Today's not the first time I've ever told you that, but I think it's important that anyone who has an interest in the Gas South District business, the campus, whatever it might be, truly understand how significant our relationship with Proof of the Pudding is, one that we're so proud of and one that we hope continues for a long, long time. So thank you today for being with us and sharing some of your story.
Thanks so much. We're truly humbled by the partnership, and we talked about all the other things that we were doing out there, but nothing is more important than the partnership we have right here.
Totally agree. Thank you again for being with us today.
Appreciate the time.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have today. Be sure to check out GasSouthDistrict.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. You can find all the episodes of Gas South District's That's the Ticket wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for joining us today. We'll return soon for another episode of That's the Ticket. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. For show notes and further information about Gas South District and upcoming events, please visit our website at GasSouthDistrict.com. That's the ticket.